channel and vinyl community. Welcome to another video with the Record Spinner. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a record store vlog visiting Zia Records in Las Vegas. If you watched my previous video from last week, I am on vacation in Las Vegas, and I did get a chance to visit the Kiss Monster Mini Golf and Gene Simmons Kiss World Museum, which if you haven't checked that out, please go ahead and do so. And I knew that at some point during my stay in Vegas, I had to visit a record store and also document it for a record store vlog for the channel because it's been a long time since I've last done one. Now, I have heard a lot of cool things about Zia Records. They're basically, the best way I can describe them is that they're like the southwestern equivalent to what the Northeast has with stores such as Bull Moose and Newberry Comics, where they are independent, they participate in Record Store Day, they get their own exclusive vinyl pressings, they sell CDs, vinyl, movies and TV shows on DVD and Blu-ray, as well as other bits of pop culture. I am very excited to check this store out. So enough of the chit chat, let's jump into what this video is all about, and let's get on the road. right, guys, so I just got back from Zia Records, and I gotta tell you, I was very pleased with my shopping experience. Great selection of predominantly new vinyl, which is totally up my alley, as well as some used pieces. A couple of cool collectible things that I saw, like up on the wall with the box sets. I saw a couple of Honor Me Please pressings that looked quite interesting. But in general, though, it was quite impressive to see this massive hub of anything arts and media related under one umbrella. And it just kind of goes to show that there is definitely something for everyone there, whether it's, a literature, enjoyer with their books, video games, anime, pop culture type stuff with like the Funko Pops and merchandise, films on DVD and Blu-ray, music on CD or vinyl. There's something for everyone there. And I can gladly say that if I find myself back in the Las Vegas area, perhaps in the future with the youngest members of the VC, I will be going to Zia Records. But I managed to leave with a very modest but amazing stack, and I think the important thing that I can clarify is that I stayed within budget. So what did I get? So starting off with a band that I don't have any records of. I have listened to this album once before, and I feel like I would really enjoy this band a lot, but I just never delved into them for particular reasons. What band am I talking about? I am talking about Australia's own King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This album is called Nonagon Infinity, and the only reason why I have been, I should say, scared to dive into the King Gizzard catalog is because it is literally so massive. They just keep churning out album after album. And the cool thing that I've realized with this band, particularly from people that do enjoy them and tell me about them, is that they don't stick to one genre. It's like, oh yeah, this is like their sort of alt-rock album, this is their punk record, this is their metal album. They kind of delve into all these avenues, which is great. It provides a very wide musical palette for them. But it was just a thing of, where do I even start? And the cashier told me that this album was definitely like the primer record to check out, which made it easier for me to justify picking it up. And like I said, I did listen to this album once before. It's this continuous big piece of music, so much that I'm looking at the track list and I'm just like, wait, which track are we in now? Like, it is so crazy. But as you can see, it does feature some pretty cool artwork, and the band is featured on the gatefold here. Record does come with a printed inner sleeve, full band breakdown with some artwork there. And the cool thing that the cashier was telling me is that most of King Gizzard's pressings always come on cool colored vinyl, which I obviously love. And this pressing is an absolute feast to the eyes. It comes pressed on this sort of starbursty colored vinyl, so it's basically a mixture of red, yellow, and black. This side kind of features those colors more prominently, and then it has everything kind of mixed in on this side, which is absolutely cool. So very happy to get my first piece of King Gizzard vinyl in my collection. And please, if you're a King Gizzard fan, leave a comment down below letting me know what album I should check out next. I will surely do so. Now, this record was, I would say this is the highlight of what I picked up. And when I saw it and I took it out, because it was a used record that was there, I took it out of the sleeve and I looked inside at the vinyl and I was like, yes, this is what I have been looking for a number of years. And it was just a matter of, if I ever saw it, I would get it. But it wasn't like a thing of I was actively hunting for it. So just, it was there and I had to get it. And that is The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, one of the best psychedelic rock albums from the late 1960s. Of course, this album features the song Fire, which was a huge hit at the time. And what's cool about this, I mean, obviously, I dig Arthur Brown and I dig this record, does feature a pre-ELP Carl Palmer on drums, which is absolutely awesome. Now, this pressing does come with a fold-out poster. Just get it undone, which is very cool. There's the man himself right there. And of course, the main selling point for me with this record was indeed the color of the vinyl, which I believe there has been a black press out. I'm not quite sure, but this pressing comes pressed on yellow vinyl with red splatter. And this comes pressed on the Esoteric Records label, and you can kind of tell the label is like a little nod to the old Track Records label that The Who was on. So it was definitely released on that label back when it came out in '68. But like I said, I've been looking for this album for a very long time, and particularly this pressing. So I was very happy to get my hands on that. Good stuff. Moving onward, this is a relatively newer band that I've been listening to a good amount lately, thanks to my coworkers at the Rock Shop. And this is actually a Zia Records exclusive, and I made it a point. I wanted to leave Zia Records with a Zia Records exclusive. So the exclusive that I got my hands on is this band called the Beths. This is a live album called Auckland, New Zealand, 2020. Recorded live in their hometown sometime after the craziness of the pandemic hit, and it's a 2 LP set. This is limited to 300 copies, which is relatively low. Here we have some photos of the band members there. This is some great indie pop type stuff, so if you're into bands such as like Always, you will definitely like the Beths. But this pressing, which like I said is exclusive to Zia, comes pressed on this sort of translucent tan colored vinyl, and each label includes a different member of the band with the respective tracks on each side. And just for the hell of it, I'll showcase the other LP. Make sure I showcase all aspects of the artwork. And there you have it. Very good stuff. The only studio album I have of theirs is the Jump Rope Gizzard's record, and I know that they have a couple other ones. I gotta seek those out. But this live album has kind of caught my eye recently, and I figured since there was an exclusive there, check it out for myself. Now we go into some modern classic rock territory. This is an album that I have not seen out in the wild lately. Must have gotten a small repress fairly recently, and it's been one that it came out roughly 10 years ago. This came out in 2013, and it is Deep Purple's Now What? This is one of their recent records. This came out in 2013. Hell to Pay is on here, which is a relatively good track. Vincent Price is a phenomenal, almost sounds like it revisits some Perfect Strangers type territory. I have quite a number of live recordings of Deep Purple from this era. It features a lot of songs from this album, and I've enjoyed what I've heard so far, so I always thought to myself that I really owe it to myself to check out this album. Gatefold features a cool wide shot of the band there. Printed inner sleeves. Basic black vinyl with a nice custom label. And this is a 2 LP set. I'll see what the other inner bag looks like just to showcase everything. And there we go. So you pretty much get the idea there. Cool stuff. Took a little gander in their metal section, and I realized that they had this particular record that I did not have of this band, and it's definitely another gap filler. I say gap filler, but yet my collection of their records is far from complete. It's slowly building, but I think I am covering most bases when it comes to the 70s stuff. And that is Judas Priest, Stained Class. On this record is Exciter, which is one of my favorite Priest songs. Better By You, Better Than Me. Most people tend to remember that track because of the whole suicide lawsuit from the late 80s, early 90s. Saints in Hell, Savage. Super stoked to check this album out for myself, which is so sick. Printed inner bag. And here we have some custom labels. Album artwork here. Good stuff. And the last piece that I picked up is a recent reissue that came out of this band. This band has been reissuing some of their later era albums from the 90s onward, some of them being on vinyl for the first time. And this is one that I've listened to, and this is a band that my friend Patrick has turned me on to. He's a big fan of this band. He played this album in store, and I've always been intrigued with it, but upon hearing it, I said, yes, I need to check this album out for myself. And that is Lil Beethoven by Sparks. This is kind of like, what's the best way to describe this record? It's almost like a neoclassical Baroque pop type of record. It has all the quirky elements that makes Sparks so distinguished when it comes to their sound. They kind of strayed from more of the electronic elements that they delved into in the 90s, and this came out back in 2002. So this was kind of like a new era of Sparks that was being brought in with this record. And originally, this was going to be a side project called Lil Beethoven, but because the Mail brothers were involved, it was obviously christened as a Sparks record, which, to be honest, makes perfect sense. Here we have a printed inner sleeve with lyrics, as well as the brothers, Russell and Ron, all over. Standard black vinyl with a cool decorative custom label there, which is very, very cool indeed. And that is all that I got. And there you guys go. That is my record store vlog visiting Zia Records in Las Vegas. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a like, and subscribe to the channel. See you guys in the next video, and most importantly, keep the records spinning.